tell you how your Facebook feed might soon become flooded with ads. Plus, we'll learn about how Big Brother is already here and probably watching you right now. So put some pants on. Also, Ziggy Marley will be here live to talk about his new Bob Marley documentary. That should be a good chill time, Raymond. Now let's see what Candace is up to. Talking like a Jamaican who's turned Scottish.
Don't
Should not have done that.
All right, I'm going to show up a new Onion documentary series about nature's most horrifying creatures in today's Around the Net. Can you believe that I'm bringing that to you? I know, I hate creatures, but you'll like this one. And Tiffany Smith sits down with a cast of The Expendables 2, including action icons Jason Statham, Dolph Lundgren, Randy Couture, Terry Crews, and Jean-Claude Van Damme. Hopefully Jean-Claude does the splits just like he does in everything.
Just like that.
That's not a split. That is a lunge. Now back to you.
That is the closest I can get to a split.
You beat me.
Everything is hurting right now. Thank you, Candace. You look beautiful as always.
Oh, thank you, Michael. You look very dapper.
Let's figure out this mess of a planet, shall we? Now, after much debate over whether the original cavemen ate strictly meat or strictly greens, new evidence shows that they actually ate a little bit of both. But there's still no word on what they drank to make their problems go away, or whether it was meat or veggies that made them such crappy artists. But it was after those original cavemen that our ancestors ended up choosing mostly meat, while an ill-fated group moved more towards plants and whatever the cavemen equivalent to a Sarah McLachlan concert was. Scientists used lasers to analyze the enamel from fossilized teeth and were able to deduce the Neanderthal diet, learning that early human meat eaters thrived while the vegetarian cavemen died out. But why did the vegetarians die out? Well, here are some ongoing theories. Number one, there weren't enough yoga studios to keep the vegetarians healthy. As you know, flexibility is key. Number two, the vegetarian cavemen died of stupidity, since they thought they were just eating the meat of easy-to-catch green-colored animals. And of course, number three, since there weren't any laws back then, when the vegetarians wouldn't stop grunting about how poorly the animals were treated, the meat eaters had no problem beating them to death with a club. Or in what may have been the very first instance of irony, with the bone of a large animal. Now, on a personal note, I am a vegetarian, and I barely have enough energy to finish this monologue. Does anybody have any coconut water? No on the coconut water? Even though the Olympics are over, that doesn't mean the drama from the Olympics has ended. Oh, and I'm not talking about last weekend's Olympics. I'm talking about last century's. Norwegian sports historians have unearthed documentation that seems to prove 2 American gold medals at the 1904 Olympic Games should have, in fact, been awarded to Norway. Although the 2 gold medal wrestlers were living in America, they were still technically Norwegian citizens. Hey, if I was a Norwegian citizen, I'd try to hide too. There's only so much you can say about salmon and pickled herring. But even though it was 108 years ago, Olympic rules are Olympic rules, right, Norway? Well, you know what else happened in the 1904 Olympics? The gold winner in the marathon took a ride in a car for 11 miles. And the runner-up took multiple shots of rat poison for bursts of energy, and then washed it down with a nice tall glass of brandy. And the only guy who was disqualified was the car guy. Rules were obviously a little different back then. Although if you can complete a marathon high off poison and brandy, you deserve to win a medal today also. But you know what? Fine. If Norway wants the gold medal so bad, I say give them back. This would only increase their lifetime gold medal haul from 58 to 60. Or as Michael Phelps calls it, walking around medals. Then again, I'm sure 100 years from now, we'll learn that Michael Phelps's medals should be awarded to dolphins. Come on, 60 medals? I mean, that's only 14 more than the U.S. won in the past 2 weeks alone. But on the bright side, if Norway can find a way to win one more medal, they get a free Subway sandwich! And regardless of how this turns out, Norway did just set the record for wrestling's longest-standing grudge match. Sorry, Sergeant Slaughter and the Iron Sheik. Hey, remember how the Facebook IPO was supposed to make everybody rich, and then the stock went over like a lead balloon covered in morbidly obese people? Yeah, well, turns out, in order to do well on the stock market, a company has to, what's that called again? Oh, right, demonstrate an ability to make money. Of course, Facebook already has ads, but your generation grew up ignoring ads all over the internet. So what's a billion-dollar social networking giant to do? Well, now the site that lets your grandma see that someone just checked you in at a sex dungeon will also be dropping ads into your stream, whether you like it or not. This week, the House of Zuckerberg began letting certain companies pay to drop their posts into your news feeds, regardless of whether or not you're a fan of the product in the first place. So even if you're a gay, vegan kale farmer, you could still find a Chick-fil-A ad sandwiched between the photos of your bitchin' maypole party. Facebook has not said when or even if they are planning on rolling out these ads to everyone, but trust me, they're coming. You think Facebook is going to be content with just selling all of your personal information forever? Zuckerberg needs a new pool, people! So get ready for ads all over everything. Profile pictures brought to you by Snapfish. Events brought to you by Ticketmaster. Pokes brought to you by the Finger Lakes Board of Tourism. That wasn't an easy logo to get, folks. It's in the Facebook terms of service. Your digital life is their money factory, and this is why I never left Friendster. Live life to the fullest. Now, still ahead, Facebook's not the only scary monolithic organization getting up in your business. The government's got some new counterterrorism software, but does it step on pesky things like our civil rights? We'll find out after this. Live life to the fullest. It seems like every day there's a new story about digital monitoring and surveillance. Now, are we paranoid, or do we have a right to think that Big Brother is indeed watching? Let's find out. Please welcome an independent journalist running for Congress in Florida on a pro-internet platform in 2014, David Seaman. Hi, David.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for chatting with us. Now, WikiLeaks recently released a fresh batch of stolen emails that detailed a counterterrorism software program called Trapwire. What is Trapwire?
Trapwire is not surveillance software. What it really is something to track and identify people and to identify suspicious behavior using advanced computer algorithms.
Okay.
And all of this information is fed into a central database somewhere. We don't know where it is. So if you get picked up in their system somewhere in the state of Texas, for example, for walking in a way that their system doesn't like, or for photographing landmarks that they don't want you to photograph, you get put into the system, and then when you're doing something as mundane as riding a subway in New York, a couple months later, or some other American city, you'll be flagged, and the system will bring you up. And it has an ongoing file on you, potentially. And based on the leaked emails from WikiLeaks, this program is either being used or could be used on political activists and protesters. In other words, people who have nothing to do with terrorism and people who have nothing to do with violent crime.
Wow. Sounds scary as hell. Now, the emails that were leaked were over 2 years old. So do we know the current status of Trapwire and if and where it's being used?
That's what's so scary about this also, is some of these emails are old. We've seen emails where they're discussing bringing new networks online and bringing new cities online into the Trapwire system. And think about how much progress they've made over the past 2 years. I mean, your viewers can take the Pepsi Challenge. Just tonight, go out in your town or your city, walk around for 10 minutes, and see how many new surveillance cameras you count. It's terrifying. And You know, not all of these cameras are hooked into trapwire, but we don't know which ones are and which ones aren't.
Okay, now, you're not committing crimes. I'm not committing crimes. Our viewers are certainly not committing crimes. So why should we really be that concerned?
That's exactly the point. We have the Fourth Amendment, and we also have the recent United States versus Jones ruling to prevent this kind of stuff from happening. If you're not doing anything wrong, let's say I'm not running an assault rifle trafficking operation out of my garage, right? I don't have 10 assault rifles in my trunk.
I should hope not, because you're trying to become a congressman. That would be a terrible decision on your part.
It'd be bad PR. But the point is, the FBI or the police, they can't come into my garage on a sporadic basis just to make sure that I'm not trafficking in weapons. They need, you know, probable cause, and they need a warrant. And the same thing here. The government can't just track your activities all over the country. These are the beginnings of a surveillance state.
Okay, now you mentioned a warrant. On a related note, what do you make of the news that came out this week that police can track suspects over a cell phone without getting a warrant?
It's a huge disappointment, and we also have to ask ourselves as a nation, is this where our money should be going? I mean, it's our tax dollars that are going to this kind of thing, this enhancement of police powers. Are you okay with paying for these things when our school system is underfunded, and we have homeless veterans? That's actually a thing. People come back and they can't find work after serving overseas.
Right.
I don't know if hiring more police and giving them more warrantless abilities is the best use of our money.
Well, you know, talking to you is just such a ray of sunshine, David Seaman. Well, not you, per se, as to what the subject we're talking about. Are we rapidly approaching being a complete surveillance society, or are we already there?
We're not there yet. We're very close. You have trapwire, and then you have abilities. We don't know how much they're being used, but just think about it. You go to work, and you send an email to your husband or wife or girlfriend, and those emails are intercepted by the government, and then the videos you watch on Netflix are logged and recorded, and your associations on Facebook are noted, and then you drive home at the end of the day, and trapwire is keeping track of your license plate and seeing where you're going and what you're doing and who you're associating with. So we're not there yet, but all of this stuff is now technically possible for the first time in history, and those leaked emails certainly do not paint a positive picture of how these things are being used.
Sure. I mean, I like going on Netflix, and I'm okay if they see that last night I watched all of Ken Burns' Civil War documentary. But what can we do to stop this? Can we do anything to stop this?
People need to become aware. That's the first thing. A lot of people just don't know. Become aware. I hate to say this, but don't rely solely on television for your news. If you go on Twitter, there are over 9,000 people on Twitter right now who are talking about this and know what they're talking about. And you can follow like the Trapwire hashtag. You can follow me. I'm D_Seaman. All of this stuff is getting out on Twitter, and you'll see a picture of this country. It's such a deep level that you never really thought was possible. Like, you're not going to hear about this on the evening news necessarily, because it just hasn't gotten out yet. It will in the coming days. It definitely will. The other thing you can do is rely on online media. The Guardian has been covering this, Huffington Post. Just have a wide range of places where you're getting your information from.
Cool. Well, we really appreciate you chatting with us. Let's say thanks to David Seaman. Thanks, David.
Thank you.
Now we'll send it over to Candace. Candace?
Thank you, Michael. Still ahead, I've got videos of a surprising food critic and a nature documentary full of F-bombs coming up on Around the Net.
I've been chanting USA this whole time.
Gosh, what are you doing? All right, let's just jump into it. Everybody knows that I love nature documentaries.
Oh, okay.
Except for the parts where things get eaten or die, which is in almost every nature
Isn't that
documentary.
every nature? That's...
Yes, but I love it up to that point.
So you like a half of nature?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. But the second half you don't like.
Yes.
But, I mean, that has to happen, doesn't it?
Anyways, here's one with spiders.
Spiders. The spider is one of nature's most fascinating spiders. Just look at that thing. Oh, no. No, I don't like this. Not one little bit. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. The fear of spiders is somehow worse than the spiders themselves. That's the cruelest joke of all.
I think that's the way most people feel about spiders.
Spiders are freaky.
It's so freaky.
But there's one thing that's freakier than spiders.
No, there's nothing. No,
Yeah.
what?
Gary Busey.
Oh! He is so scary! Gary Busey is so scary. But there's only one thing scarier than Gary Busey.
There could not possibly.
No, there is.
What is it?
Spider Busey.
What?
Take her! Take her! Take her! How did Spider
She's been a
Busey
bitch
get
all
in
week
here?
to me. Take her! I mean, I'll protect you. That is the creepiest. That is creepier than Gary or a spider.
Oh, that's really bad. Let's just go on. Now, if you haven't seen the most recent episode of Breaking Bad, you might want to press mute right now. Do it right now. Do it.
We warned you. Here we go.
Okay. Anyways, last Sunday's episode was one of my favorite episodes ever, but it was extremely intense, and just when you thought that something was really going right for Walt and Jesse, things took a devastating turn for the worse.
Oh,
Except in this alternate director's cut of the ending.
cool.
Isn't it?
That was really funny. I was laughing really hard.
But Breaking Bad, you have broken my heart.
And it broke my heart too. I mean, not as bad as that kid's, obviously, but still.
So bad.
Are you one of these like totally nuts Breaking Bad fans?
Oh my God,
Yeah.
it's the best show on television. So good. I actually just started watching it like 2 months ago,
Okay.
but I got through all 4 seasons in like 3 weeks.
I'm still on.
So good.
I'm still on season 1. I know. Like to me.
When did you start it?
Like a couple months ago. I started late.
What?
That's a
How can
spoiler.
you not want to keep watching it?
I do.
What's wrong with you?
I'm trying to host a television show.
Oh, come on.
But
Come on, please.
that whole thing's a spoiler for me because what I'm watching, he still has hair. I guess he shaves
Gosh,
his
it was
head.
that far back?
He shaves his head.
It's a huge spoiler, I know.
It's a
I
big
know.
spoiler. Do we have anything else, Candace?
Yes, we have another one. If you like burgers,
No, I'm a vegetarian.
okay, think again, because here is a guy who likes burgers
I don't eat meat. I told everyone I don't
way
eat meat.
more than you do, okay?
Okay, fine,
All
but
right.
I don't believe it.
This, oh my goodness, oh my damn, oh, I want to say this is an official cheeseburger. Hold on. I can't, I had to peel that open real slow because the cheese is going ham up in here. When I went to my man that was behind the counter, my man was like, "Hello, sir. How can I help you today?" "You know you can help me, player. Give me a double cheeseburger and some of them fries. And I need something to wash that down with, B." I didn't even ask for bacon, but I was thinking bacon. In the back of my mind, when he said, "Do you want anything else on your cheeseburger, your double cheeseburger, player?" I was thinking, "Ooh, damn. Should I get some bacon?" Now let me fall back because I already know those fries are going to be hella greasy. Nah, he put the bacon on there. It was like Five Guys Burgers and Fries was reading my mind. Let's do this.
I love him. He's so good.
That guy is awesome. You guys should have him co-host sometime. I'm sure he could do magical things with the feed.
I totally agree.
That was
now,
so funny.
let's amp up that awesome with some auto-tune. Hit it, Gregory Brothers.
They're going ham. Oh my goodness. Oh my damn. Oh my goodness. They're going ham. This is how bacon is supposed to be. The fries, they blend perfectly. The cheese up in here is going ham. Damn, damn, damn. You bite the fry bites back, my man. Damn, damn, damn. Crispy crunch. Damn. Look at the bacon. Damn. Get yourself that double cheeseburger. Damn, damn, damn.
This guy is the best.
Good, right?
He's so enthusiastic. He's so passionate. Parents don't even chat about their kids like this. My dad never got that excited, even after I won the Michigan State tennis title. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, but you aren't made of cheese and bacon. And nice, humble brag there.
I won the state championship, '96.
won.
Google it.
Question real quick.
Yeah.
What does going ham mean?
Going ham.
I've never heard that.
Is what you say.
I
hard as
just
a
heard
mofo. That's
yeah.
what they say.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
I was actually going to answer with something totally that didn't make any sense, but I didn't know that he was doing acronyms in there. That's nice.
I didn't either. Good
Hard
for
as a
him.
mofo.
All right, and that is all I have for you for Around the Net. More viral video goodness for you tomorrow.
Meanwhile, the cast of The Expendables 2 seem like they could easily kill me.
That's why we sent the extra durable Tiffany Smith.
If there's one group of people you never want to piss off, it's 80s action movie stars.
You're not doing what I think you're doing.
Yeah, I am.
The guys that invented the action genre are trigger happy once again in Expendables 2. Get the f out of their way, because they're out for revenge.
So this is the ultimate revenge story. What happens when you piss off the Expendables?
We come after you. What's the plan?
Track him, find him, kill him.
Yeah, there's always something in a revenge story. People can sort of feel the emotion with that, you know. Payback.
Here we go! More tanks, more explosions, more guns, more planes, more action stars. Jean-Claude Van Damme and Chuck Norris and a few more. And I guess you have a good shot at outdoing the first one.
Just put in more and more of everything.
More and more of everything. And a little more humor, too.
Are you hit?
Yeah, twice.
Better you than me.
That's nice.
When are you guys going to learn to get along? I mean, while the fighting?
Oh, no. It's always something to fight. You know what I mean? I heard this great quote. Every man needs a battle to fight and a beauty to rescue.
That's a good one.
That's why there will always be an Expendables around. Hopefully we'll go to Expendables 10, the old folks' home.
And in 10, there's still going to be some real Peck Pops, no CG, right?
Oh, yeah. That's all real. There's no such thing.
Can I get a little feel?
Peck Pops
Can I get a little feel of that?
Oh, well, my wife will hurt you. She will. Now, she'll do the karate chop. She might come through here with an
It's kind of tempting when you've got Peck Pops and then, of course, the lobes of a champion.
Are you sure he's bigger than this car?
Do something!
Arnold is back in this one, and he's had a little time off, you know, hanging out in the office. Did he need some help getting back into the saddle, or was he really there giving you guys too?
No, he was good. He caught on really fast. I could see him a little bit. He walked onto the set, and there's like about 100 people in there. There's all of us dressed up, me, Statham, and Sly, and Terry, all like geared up with the guns and grenades, and I could see, like, for a moment, like, you know, he's a seasoned guy, but for a moment you could see him go, all right, okay, trying to get the old acting muscle, the action acting muscle back. But he came back like within like 10 seconds. He was cracking jokes and relaxing. It was cool.
I'm back.
If we threw all of you guys into a cage match, who would be the last man standing?
Wow, that'd be a lot of blood. A lot of pain, too. I think Randy would have a good chance, probably, I'd say. I'd have a fairly good chance, too, but Randy would be tough to beat.
I think Randy Couture, you wouldn't want to be on the bad side of Randy. You certainly would not. He's as scary as they come.
Yeah, well, don't talk about my lobes anymore. It's just fine.
Brush up on your fighting defense. Expendables 2, there's a good chance this movie will kick your ass.
Ziggy Marley is coming up after the break, so stick around. next guest was integral to making the new documentary Marley, which you'll be happy to know is not a prequel to Marley and Me.
We were always like active, you know, like we're on the beach, we're running, we're racing each other. It was always about racing to see who could beat him.
I mean, there was no let up in him. There was no like, it's children. Let me run slow. The fastest he could run against us.
Please welcome Ziggy Marley. Yes, thank you for being here. For those of you that don't know, your father's a legendary reggae artist, Bob Marley. When you grew up with, I mean, did you know he was such an icon? Was it that obvious for you?
No, we grew up very humbly, and the iconic thing kind of happened a little later.
Okay.
We always knew he was a musician, and we always knew people respected him in Jamaica. But after he passed, the whole icon thing kind of became even greater, you know?
Now, the documentary has a very humanizing portrayal of your father. Mm-hmm. Was there anything, though, that you learned about him that you didn't know?
Yeah, a couple of things I learned about him. For example, I didn't know there was an issue with his race because his father was white, his mother is black. And when he moved from the countryside to Kingston, some of the neighborhood guys them kind of teased him and kind of, you know, said stuff about him because he was like the brown boy, you know, or whatever. And then when he went to Germany for treatment for his illness, a lot of that we were kept away from, so we didn't know what happened there. So in the documentary, it really, especially that part, was really emotional for us to watch. We show that whole Germany period of time, you know.
Is it true that he used to practice in a cemetery?
Well, the way...
I mean, you hear these things, you don't know what's accurate and what's not. And we're not going to talk about your dad the whole time, but I wanted to ask you that.
No, it's kind of ironic because the whole... My father and the whole culture is life, is always life.
Right.
But when the Wheelers had just started out, their mentor was a man named Joe Higgs, who kind of teach them to sing harmonies and stuff like that. So in the early days, he would take them to practice in the cemetery in order to get rid of stage fright or not be frightened. If they can sing in the cemetery, they can sing for anybody.
Right, exactly. Right. I've done some comedy shows that are like being out in a cemetery. Now, you're a talented musician in your own right. 5 Grammys you've won. But then you must always get compared to your father. How do you handle that, and is that okay?
Yeah, I mean, it's very natural. I mean, it's very natural for that to happen, obviously.
Right.
And it's something that we accept, and I mean, some of the comparisons are true, and some are just not true.
Right.
You know, I mean, people are always looking for things because now my father has passed away for numerous years. So now when people see me, they think everything I do, oh, Bob must have done it that way.
Right.
You know, because he's not here, they don't know. But I'm cool with it because it's natural and he's a part of me anyway, you know, so I'm cool with that.
That's really cool. A few years ago, you released a children's album. What inspired you to do that?
Well, the children's album, no, I was kind of tired of singing for adults. You know,
you got sick of adults.
I was like, I'm over adults.
I get sick of adults too, especially some of these adults over here who don't laugh at my jokes.
So it's like something came to my mind. It's like, you know, Zig, if you want music be some sort of life-changing thing or change the world, I think the audience that you should be singing to is children, because open minds and at least they listen without judging, and maybe it can influence children to think differently than we do as adults, and maybe that will make the world a better place. So I focus on children for that album.
That's so neat. You've also created a superhero. I believe you're wearing it on your shirt right there. What's the superhero's power that you've created?
His power, he has numerous powers, really.
What's his
hunger?
Hunger? Why don't you tell us his name, the superhero's name?
It's Marijuana Man.
It's Marijuana Man, yeah. And anyone who's known Marijuana Man has certainly felt the hunger urge from time to time. What are your plans with Marijuana Man, if any?
Well, yeah, I came up with this idea. I was listening to some old Superman radio episodes.
Okay.
And I'm thinking I might do some radio episodes just for like free, you know, online, or give it, you know, for people maybe a 10-minute episode or 12-minute episodes. People can just listen it while they're jogging or while they're in the car or whatever. So
or maybe smoking pot?
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Okay, why not? Right. So you're thinking about doing a 40s-style radio show. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then we're going to, you know, develop the character more into some more comic books and see what happens from there.
Now, we have one of the comic books here. This is Marijuana Man as well. And how hands-on are you with all of this? Are you describe that process for you?
Well, the process was I came up with the outline, the story idea of what the character is, where he comes from, and what he's facing. And then I got Jim Mahfood to do some art for me, and I got a writer also for
cool.
work with us on the story and develop it some more for the book.
Well, I look forward to reading it. I really appreciate chatting with you. I could chat forever and ever. I think we could all hear that. But we have to say goodbye, unfortunately. So let's say thanks to Ziggy Marley. Marley is available on DVD and Blu-ray now. Now, still ahead, Matt Myra explores the world outside of the iPhone right after this.
On the next Attack of the Show. Comedian and co-creator of The Chappelle Show, Neil Brennan, is strapping on his guest helmet all week long. And he'll be sitting down with the Wonder Years' Winnie Cooper herself, Danica McKellar, to get edumacated with her new math book, Girls Get Curves. Plus, actor Lamorne Morris from New Girl will drop by live. Then on DVD Tuesday, Chris Gore rates the latest discs to hit the shelves, including The Raid, Redemption, and The Dictator. And I attempt to gain superpowers when I try to scale a wall like Spider-Man. Minus being bitten by a radioactive spider, of course. It's on the next Attack of the Show.
All the news you need to know. Feed.
I'm Sarah Underwood. It's Thursday, August 16th, and here are your top stories. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange pissed off the motherland and fueled some geopolitical drama today after Ecuador granted him asylum. He's been avoiding being sent to Sweden, where he'd be put on trial for sexual assault charges from a couple years back, and he's so desperate to outrun law enforcement that he's been holed up at Ecuador's London embassy for the past 2 months. Now, obviously, Ecuador's decision wasn't very popular with some world powers, like the UK and the US, so the country's foreign minister tried to make good with this diplomatic doozy and said they granted Assange political asylum because he's a communications professional and the world needs his wiki work. He also said the guy wouldn't get a fair trial and that his freedom of speech and life are in danger. But even with the guaranteed safety in South America, British police are just waiting for him to step outside his embassy hideout so they can arrest him, which makes it kind of tough to get to the airport. All this trouble just for releasing information on extrajudicial killing squads, illegal toxic waste dumps, papers on Scientology, and Guantanamo Bay torture manuals? I'm sorry, buddy. Surprise, surprise, Apple is back in the rumor mill, and no, not with more iPhone 5 stuff. Word is Tim Cook and his cronies might be gaining ground in the world of TV with a new set-top box that carries cable channels. Now, I know what you're thinking. Where's the futuristic Siri-powered set we're all expecting? Well, chill out, because this one might one-up all those lame cable providers who don't give us all the channels we want. DirecTV. Now, apparently, Apple's trying to play nice and make deals with cable operators, but they're also threatening to go directly to content providers if they don't get what they want. Now, if that happens, it would mean all of us viewers could watch any channel we want, no cable company necessary. I could get on board with that. Now, start practicing your planking and pouty faces, because an Instagram 3.0 has been released, and it is awesome. Spoiler, you won't find any new filters. This version has a new feature called Photo Maps, which is like Facebook's timeline, but way cooler because you can post your pictures in Sepia and X Pro.
The new Instagram organizes your pics based on your location, which connoisseurs like myself know as geotagging. Make it easier to photoblog your life story and a lot easier for your friends to follow it. You can download the new map app on iTunes, and let me tell you, it's pretty cool to look back at all the places you've been and the things you've done. But just make sure you weed out the creepy people following you and lock your doors before leaving home. I'm Sarah Underwood. You have just been fed, and now it's time for the boys to talk about boy stuff.
Thanks, Sarah. It seems like every other day the stork flies into the AOTS labs and drops off a new smartphone baby for Matt and Myra to review.
Yeah, congratulations. It's a Motorola Atrix.
Whoa.
Motorola's got a new phone to show off. This is the Atrix HD. This Android smartphone features a 4.5-inch LCD screen. It's also powered by a dual-core Snapdragon processor and 1 gig of RAM. This new smartphone can be yours for $99 with a contract. Yeah, here it is, the Motorola Atrix, you guys. It's basically a Verizon Razr. It's a Motorola Razr, but for AT&T. The design is a little bit different, more curved edges. We got a white border on there.
Yeah.
It does have a Kevlar back,
which I think that means it's bulletproof, right?
Yes, it is. Just like that hardened prune that saved John Ritter in Problem Child.
And that's... Who doesn't remember that?
I remember it every day. Like the Razr, it's very thin. It's actually very light. It's 0.5 ounces.
Oh, that is nice.
That is very light. It's a very light phone. Micro SD card, micro HDMI for mirroring to your television.
I don't get what that means.
It means that you can gather your friends around and make a phone call, and they can all see it.
On the TV.
On the TV, yeah.
What if I'm sexting someone on my phone? Can my friends see it on my TV?
It'll make your ding-dong look bigger.
Oh, finally!
Yeah! Nothing amazing to say about the design. It's a decent design.
Okay.
Yeah.
The screen, 4.5 inches?
Yep.
What is that all about? Is that good? Is it bad? I don't know about this stuff.
I think everything's moving that way. There's rumors of the iPhone 5 getting scaled up with a bigger screen. The screen's pretty good. It has a 1280 by 720 resolution. Okay. It's LCD, not a Super AMOLED or Retina, which is the popular choice nowadays. This is a pretty sharp screen, though. Pixel density is very good, 326 DPI. Definitely better than the Droid Razr, which actually surprised me for a phone this cheap.
Okay.
And almost everything else about it is sort of identical to that Razr.
DPI is an acronym meaning digitally pixelization installation?
I would go with that, sure. It could also mean dots per inch.
Dots per inch?
Yeah,
that's
it's
what
not
I meant to
as
say.
fancy.
How fast? Is it fast? Speed?
It's pretty fast.
Okay.
Like, you're going to enjoy this because it's got a Snapdragon processor, 1 gig of RAM. It's running Ice Cream Sandwich.
I love ice cream sandwiches.
Exactly. That's what got me in. Too much laughter from you guys on that.
What is ice cream sandwich?
Ice cream sandwich is not the most up-to-date of the Android operating systems. It's the previous one. The newest one is Jelly Bean.
Okay.
They're all named after desserts, which is something I teach every new host that comes in.
I'm looking forward to flan.
Oh, that's going to be a fancier OS. One thing I do like, there's a Motorola skin on here, but it's not a crazy skin. It's a nice UI. Motorola put some nice features on here. There are actually things that I like. There's this little circle, these buttons that you can hit, which you do that. Yeah. We have B-roll of it. There's a circle widget is what they're called. You essentially hit it, and it gives you analog time so the kids can't read it.
Right.
And then you can watch the sunrise.
If you want to have the sunrise electronically.
Yeah, you can do that too. There are some smart actions, which are called smart actions because they do things like automated. So you could set GPS things, right? So when I get home, for instance, maybe I want my phone to go on vibrate. I can tell it to do that, and it will just know from where I'm going.
That's
and the
really
government's
cool.
like, hey, he's in his house, take him down. Yeah. My phone will also go on vibrate.
That kind of seems like some trap wire stuff. But what can you say like, hey, when I'm at the library, shut it to silent?
You could absolutely do that, and then proceed to look at porn with the homeless guys.
Yeah, and I don't know when we went to the library last. Most important thing, maybe, for me, because I always lose my charger, what's the battery life like?
The battery life is okay. You're going to get about 6 hours of heavy use, which, it's not a ton. It's pretty decent, though, considering the hardware you're running. It's a lot of RAM, a very fast processor, and you're running 4G LTE. So that is a very fast thing. You can get like 18 megs down. You can download all the porn you want. You don't have to go to the library.
Fantastic.
Right? Pretty good, and it's not going to drain the battery too bad.
Well, you can get the Motorola Atrix HD for $99 with a contract at your local AT&T store. Matt, what is your verdict?
This phone gets a 3 out of 5.
Okay.
Because it's good. It's good. It's not great. It's at $99. It's a very good phone. It's thin. It's quite fast. Opposite of me. The reason I'm giving it a 3. Stop laughing. The reason I'm giving it a 3 is because it just doesn't stack up to like the Samsung Galaxy S3 or the HTC One X. But if you're an AT&T customer and you're looking for a good deal, this is a pretty good choice because I checked Amazon this morning. $50.
Wow.
$49.99, and that would kind of make it a 4 out of 5. It would be
a 4 out of 5. He says if you can get it for $50. Let's thank Matt Myra for coming by.
Thank you. That's it for today's Gadget Run.
It is time for today's epic fail.
Now, this video is confusing, but we thought you'd enjoy it because someone gets injured.
Poor lady.
I think this proves that parking lots, aren't they just the worst things in the whole world?
Yeah, that's what that proves.
It's already the worst place to be, and now there's a gate that's attacking people.
Attacking people.
You like...
She wasn't looking where she was going.
She was trying to help someone, and I feel...
Oh, was that what she was doing?
I think that's what she was doing. I don't know.
Okay,
well,
fail her.
You know, fail her. She just... Now, by the way, you guys, I know everyone's been sitting on the edge of their seats for this, but there's a new episode of my YouTube show, SKB, which is an acronym for Sports Costa Basement.
Oh, that's a good one.
And
Why?
it went online today. It's about sports.
Okay.
It's shot in my basement. Our budget's huge. That's our pre-Olympic show. And it's a really fun show, and it gets like, 21 hits every time I upload it. So
wow,
I really
21 whole hits?
I'm getting 21
Look
hits.
At you.
Most of which
You're
are from people whose last names are Costa. And
your mom, your dad.
Jan, Christy, John, Todd.
That's great. Well, where can people see it?
YouTube.com/sportscostabasement. Or
and
you
how
can
often
just,
do you do it?
I do it like twice a month.
We'll start doing it more. Maybe you'll get more uploads.
I've been busy, Candace.
Clearly. It's been fun having you here.
Candace, it's
You're
really
here
fun
again
having...
tomorrow.
I'm here again tomorrow, and but it's kind of sad. It's sad already that tomorrow's the last show. You know what I mean?
I know.
Yeah.
You're gonna be missed.
Oh.
Thanks to Ziggy Marley, Matt Myra, Sarah Underwood, Tiffany Smith, and David Seaman.
All right, you guys, live life to the fullest. That's my Friendster account. Live life.
He's still on Friendster.
I love it. So live life, and we're still talking, and they're still clapping. How long do they have to clap for?
3 more seconds.
Goodbye, everybody.
Good night.